Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. For today's look, I decided to use the dreamstpalette by Kathleenlights and Colourpop. I actually did a poll on my Instagram between this and the Shannexo BH palette, and this one won. And we came up with this super fun, warm, but still crazy because we used the teal on the eyelid, but a warm crease, warm lips with a pop of teal, and I really love how it came out. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching.
Hey, this is important.
This is important too. We are going to get started with the face, and I've already moisturized my skin using the First Aid Beauty water cream and their lip therapy. For primer, I'm going to use the Becca Backlight Priming Filter all over my face, and then the Urban Decay Complexion Primer and smoothing right here where I feel like my pores are the biggest. Eklodo. For foundation, I'm going to take the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Ivory. And we're going to blend it in with the Morphe Beauty Sponge. And this is a little too dark for my face, but just disregard that. So I used to use this foundation like all the time, and then I ran out of it. And then it was too expensive for me to get it again. And I just got it again recently thinking I would still like it, and not going to lie, don't really like it at all. And it's not covering anything. And it says it's medium to full and that you can build it up and all these things, but I really feel like it's a strong medium, and it's not covering the things I would like for it to cover. If you have really dry skin but want full coverage and dewy, if you have a good recommendation, let me know what it is. For concealer, I'm going to be mixing two because I got the Tarte Shape Tape in too light of a color, and I kind of feel like it's too light to cover the dark, if that makes sense. It just makes the darkness look like a gray color. It doesn't cancel out the dark color that's there. So I put one that's a little bit darker than what I would want it to be first, and then I put the lighter one on top. So this is the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer in Tatine, T-A-T-I-N? I don't know what that is. And then the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light. And I kind of leave it there under my eyes. If you've watched any of my videos, which you probably haven't, it's because I feel like if I blend it in now, it'll immediately blend out the coverage. And now we're just going to blend the concealer out underneath the eyes with the sponge again. Now we're going to set underneath the eyes using the RCMA No Color Powder, and I think this is called like the setting brush by Real Techniques. And you're going to want to set underneath your eyes as fast as possible, and what I like to do is do like one quick blend out and keep looking up and then set my eyes. And then to set the rest of my face, I'll be using the MAC and Patrick Star, what's it called? It's called Patrick's Powder. And I love this stuff because it's super soft and finely milled, and it doesn't make my face feel dry. I think I'm just going to leave the face as is, and I'm going to move on to the eyes, and then we'll come back and do the blush and the bronzer just so we can kind of get an idea of the colors that we're working with, and then we can, you know, finish off the face accordingly. For today's eye look, we will be using the dreamstpalette by Kathleenlights and Colourpop, and it is so gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, this is what it looks like. But you probably have seen it, unless you live under a rock. I really like these super gorgeous teal shades in this like duochrome metallic shade. Dead. Also, this guy is gorgeous. I don't have anything like that, so I was super excited to see that in the palette. So we're just going to get started and see what happens. So I'm going to be taking this shade right here called Stardust, and it's like a warm yellowy orangey shade, perfect for a transitional shade in our crease. For the second shade, we're going to use this really pretty burnt orange color, and it's in the shade Potion. And we're basically just going to do the same thing again and blend it out in the crease. We're just going to take that orange shade, do the same thing again, and don't worry if it gets like all over your lid because, girl, we're going to cover that. Now to deepen things up a little bit, we're going to take the darkest brown in the palette, and the shade is Elfish, and we're going to use a more precise brush to deposit the color in an exact location as opposed to kind of just blending it out all over the crease. I don't know if you could tell, but some weird things are happening over here with the brown shade. I don't know what it is. Could have been a brush, could have been what was there before, like my foundation underneath. I don't know. Because the other colors were blending out fine, but that brown, the darkest brown, just wasn't. So I'm just going to pick up a similar brown shade from the Dare to Create palette by Morphe and continue to do the same thing. And I also added some powder down here just to sharpen up that line. When we're finished, we can just brush it off. And it kind of gives the same effect as using tape, but I just don't put that on my face because my skin doesn't like it. But we're just going to deepen up this outer. See, like, what? What is that? We're just going to ignore that for right now, move on to the lid shade, and then see if it's still noticeable with the metallic shade, and if it is, we'll try a different color because it's just not working. So for the lid, I'm going to be using the shade Mermaid Boy, which is like the metallic teal kind of color in the palette. And before we put that on, I'm just going to clean up the lid space using a little more of the Tarte Shape Tape and using a flat defining concealer type brush. Looks like this. Pat it where you feel your eyeball in, if that makes any sense. And it just creates like a natural cut crease situation. And I'm actually going to take it on the brush and then spray the brush with Fix Plus, or just use water or any setting spray. You can even use spit. And we're just going to place the brush down and kind of like swipe and press, as opposed to like blending things. You kind of have to be a little more strategic with your movements. I went ahead and did this lid off camera. I am going to use this really pretty, it's like a, I don't know, it's got like a greenish blue reflect in it, but it's kind of a silver, so I feel like it'll look really good with the eyes. And that is called Kaleidoscope. And I'm going to take a small pencil brush and just dab that color on the inner corners. Ooh. It goes on like really green, but it's really pretty. To deepen up the outer corners and kind of mesh the two colors together, I'm going to take the matte teal on the palette, and this one is called Water Bearer. And I'm going to take the same pencil brush, wiped off, and pat this on the outer corners to blend the two colors together. So I think I'm going to just leave the lid as it is, and we're going to brush off this powder and go to the lower lash line. But I usually keep the lower lash line pretty simple because by then I'm really lazy and like the makeup should be, you know, over. So I just take all the same colors we used on top, on bottom, but I'm not going to put the metallic down there. So I'm going to use the initial shade we started with, and the orange, and the teal, and the brown, and kind of just, you know, slap them on under there, because who really cares about your whole lash line? No one. For liner, I'm going to take the e.l.f. liquid liner. It is my absolute favorite. I tried another one because they were out of this at Ulta, and I hated the one I got, and it was like $6 more. So this is $2 and it's legit. So I'm just going to throw on a quick wing and then do my mascara off camera, and then we can move on to the rest of the face to finish off the look. To contour the face, we are going to use the LA Girl Pro Contour Palette in the shade Light, obviously using the darker shade. And I'm going to use this contouring brush by Morphe, and it also came in the holiday collection. So this stuff is like super duper pigmented, so I swirl my brush in and then basically tap off all of it, and then I'm very light-handed with it as well, and then you can always build it up, but you can't take it off. And for bronzer, I'll be using the Colourpop Afternoon Delight bronzer with this Pure Cosmetics all over face brush. Also be careful with this. Very pigmented. And then to clean things up under there, because I go a little crazy, I'm going to take the Morphe sponge again with more of the RC Made No Color powder and just kind of carve that out.
That's it, you're done.
Then for blush, I'm going to use the Pulse Cosmetics powder blush in the shade Mango Pink. It's very, very pink. Use a little. Use sparingly. When I was younger, I thought I meant use more. Boy, was I wrong. Ah! And for highlight, I will be using the Smashbox Spotlight palette in the shade Pearl, using the center shade and also this yellowy one. And I kind of just mix the two and slap it on. Oh! Just kidding. It really does change everything. And then I'm going to spray the MAC Fix Plus all over my face just to melt everything in together. And for lips, I'm going to use the Morphe liquid lipstick in the shade Lovely. And this came as a part of a set for the holidays, the Paint the Town Red set. So I'm not sure if this is sold separately, but hopefully it is because I really like this color. And their liquid lipsticks smell like straight up cake. And this is the look we came up with. I am super happy with how it turned out. I love wearing unique colors and kind of stepping out of the normal browns and golds. And this teal shade is really pretty and actually complements the orange really well because they're complementary colors. So yes, girl, this is what we came up with using the Dream Street palette. We think this will be a very versatile palette because we definitely have more, you know, play it safe colors, and then we also have these fun ones that you can throw in there. So this is a win in my book. You should probably get it if you don't have it. And if you haven't tried the Colourpop pressed shadows like these guys, all their palettes are great. This is my third one, and I love them all. So that pretty much sums up today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!